Why don't you go somewhere in your mind where you find out who the hell you are? Very few people change the way they think. And that's why they always fuck themselves in life. They never change the way they think. Oh, my house is old. I don't get a new house. I'm going to get a new pair of this or that. But the one thing we never change, why we always stay the damn same and never wonder why we're getting better, because we never change the way we think.
We are our minds. You are the machine, and you can control the machine. And people ask me, how do I get tougher? Be tougher. They ask me, how can I wake up earlier in the morning? The answer is, wake up earlier in the morning. This is what I know, is that your mind, the thing that is listening and comprehending these words right now, that is you. And that thing, that mind, you can control.
And you do that by thinking consciously about who it is that you are in an articulated manner and where you want to go and why and how you're going to get there. And people hardly ever do that. That's come as such an absolute shock to me as an educator.
Because now I've figured out how a human being can endure more than what they think is possible. With nothing. Like, people think you need great parents, you need great education, all this stuff. They think you need to have all this stuff, and they have this thing like, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. If I had that mindset one damn time in my life, I'd be a 400-pound man spraying for cockroaches still.
Right.
So my whole thing is now, I know how to think properly to be successful in all kind of aspects of life. Mm-hmm. And it's not about ultra running. It's not about just being a SEAL. It's not about pull-up records or anything like that. It's about, if you want to be better, you have to change the way your perceived limitations and take the barriers down.
You have that ability. You just have to assert it. You have to decide that you're going to be in control and that you are going to do what you want to do. Weakness doesn't get a vote. Laziness, they don't get a vote. Sadness, no vote.
The purpose is for you to harden your mind and to build a mindset that is tuned for you to succeed in all areas of life, okay? So when we think about going out in the rain, or we think about going out in the cold, or we think about going out in the snow like I am today, I want you to understand you could be like everybody else. But if you decide that you want to be like everybody else, you have to understand that you're going to get what everybody else gets too. So understand, conditions are never going to be right. Things are always going to be off. You're never going to have to do something. You're always going to be able to find a reason as to put it off.
Don't let your mind control you. Control your mind. And once you control your mind, then you can set it free.
I say train your brain harder, because if you think a certain way, then so are you. That sums you up. If you think with a I can't do it attitude, guess what? You right, motherfucker, you can't do. Because that's the way you think. If you think it's impossible for you, it is. It is impossible. Because you believe in your heart it's impossible. For you, yes, it is impossible. You have set that limitation in your mind. And you cannot break the barrier of your mind that you have set, that is your limitation. You cannot go past that because you have not sufficiently trained your brain.
I'm not going to ever let anybody make themselves feel better by telling me that I was some genetic freak. I'm not going to make yourself feel better about that. I suffered. And I always say suffer because that's what I did. It was miserable. The races, every single race in Hell Week, in Buds, in Ranger School, I suffered tremendously. I should never have been able to do it, which is why I'm so proud of myself. I don't care what place I came in. I don't care I walked 105 miles of bad water. I did it. That was the journey. That was the mission. That was about. It's not about, oh, well, this guy's just a freak. If that makes you feel better, it's fine. No, you can do it off just a breath of air in the right mindset. That's the message. Once you break these barriers that you have made for yourself, like the mind is the most powerful thing in the world. It is so amazing that I used to be a 300-pound guy and I thought that was it. Could barely read, could do anything, and now that what was inside that person was this guy that's in front of you today. That's how scary the mind is. And that's what I started realizing through this journey, is that once I got a taste of, wow, man, I haven't even begun to crack what the mind is capable of. And when I started realizing is on the other end of suffering, that's the real growth of life, because you realize how the mind processes shit. 100 miles with no training, because I went into it not thinking I can't do this, man. I went into it with a strategy. I had an open-mindedness. So until your mind is open to the possibilities that I can do this, you would never be able to do it. Once the mind starts to believe it can be achieved, it then, only then, does it start to break down tactically how we can do this. Until then, you're going to always lose. Well, it's funny how you say that, because it is a true thing. I have so many conversations in my mind because so many times I want to quit.
Sure.
But this is what it is. This is what I figured out. I was so afraid of myself that I had to figure out. I became a master of my mind. People, when you're afraid of something, you have to master it. That's how you start to overcome it. So what I realized, when I get to that point where I want to quit, everybody, they get to the point where they want to quit. This is what happens. The mind tells you, let's go home. Let's take a warm shower. Let's get some food. This is not right. This is that. If you cannot answer the questions at that moment, because your mind's going to start giving you all these questions. And if you can't answer them, you're going to quit.